So, Darren, another important home win last weekend. What pleased you most about that result and performance?
Well, what pleased me the most was that the performance level, especially first half, wasn't as high. But we go into a half time winning the game or leading in the game. So that pleased me greatly because even though I felt that we not really played very well, I still don't think that they were really hurting us. Dominating the ball, definitely. But can't, don't ever recall really too much threat on the goal. We were just disappointed with some of the body language of the players, and some of the performance levels. But to be 1-0 up at half time with a lot more in us was really pleasing. And I've not seen that yet with us. We're either winning because we're playing very, very well, or we've been behind because we've not played very well. So it was something new in terms of a stimulus for me to observe the players in that state. And then second half, I thought we just defended absolutely beautifully. And our team shape and our organisation was very good. And I must say, I thought the subs had a huge bearing on the improvement of the performance. I thought Jim Kellerman came into the game and was very influential, especially in the second goal. And the same with Okins. He came on and was very, very influential. So we play massive attention, and we place huge stakes on substitutes coming on and affecting the game, in whichever way we need them to. And I thought them two were very, very good. So no, it was when you look back, it's a brilliant win, regardless of the performance. It's a brilliant win against a good side, an excellent manager, an excellent coaching team, and we're pleased to have ticked that one off.
And obviously, you talk about the squad and the use of the subs and stuff. What is the squad looking like ahead of this weekend?
Well, we've had quite a big bout of illness actually on the back of the one we had last week. So we're 2 or 3 that we don't really know at what sort of state they're going to be in tomorrow. So it's going to be a real late one. But we're taking as big a group of players as we can. We've definitely got one out with illness. Jack Rolls is out with illness. poor Jack can't seem to get a break thus far this season, but he'll come good. So Jack won't be with us, and then we've got, like I said, 3 others that are we're really trying to wait and see if they're at the end of that illness period, and whether they're going to be physically able for tomorrow. So it could be one of them. We could have all of them and players outside the squad sitting in the stand, or we could have 3 on the bench. I mean, it's the permutations are quite big so far.
Yeah, and just going back to sort of the team and the performances, I saw a stat this week saying that we have the lowest amount of expected goals against us this season out of anyone in the league. How pleasing is that, or how much do you sort of take notice of those sort of stats compared to results?
Well, they have a direct influence on results, don't they? I mean, we've all seen the games this year. Maidenhead, spring into mind, where you concede one shot on target or 2 shots on target, sorry, and you lose the game 1-0. But so they can have a huge story to tell, but you need to obviously apply them with a little bit of caution and a bit of and a lot of intelligence. But we forget about the statistic. We pay an awful lot of time and energy on our defensive shape. We pay a lot of attention, Ian and I, Marlon as well, to how we're always going to try and be organised, how we're always going to try and be in the game. And as a flip side of that, we could be better offensively. We could be, but I think that part of the game takes longer to harmonise than defending. Defending is dictated and directed by character and personality. So if you take that in terms of my character and personality, I'm quite an aggressive chap, and and the players, take that cue from me in terms of organisation. Ian's a very, very good coach in terms of his theoretical and practical knowledge of how to structure that. And Marlon has improved Craig Ross beyond recognition in my eyes. And then you look at the types of players we signed. We signed Dan Moss, who's as good a defender, regardless of his age, that I've seen outside of the Championship. And then you've got Cuthbert, Wilkinson, McNerney, Nelson as four good central defenders, as you can ever see. And Josh, obviously, with his leadership ability. So our character and our organisation starts and finishes really with the character of the players and the staff in those defensive moments. And I think the players have shown great resolve, determination in that defending phase of the game to perform brilliantly. I mean, absolutely brilliantly. To have 4 clean sheets in 10 already is an outstanding feat. And if we can have 4 clean sheets every 10 games, 16 clean sheets ish in a season, it's going to be a strong foundation for us to build something on. But for me, going into games, and in my experience, you have to have a belief that your team is organised. You have to have a belief that your team understands their roles and responsibilities defensively, and they've got to be fit enough to carry out that directive in whichever way the coach or the staff dictate. So no, it's a brilliant stat, one we're very pleased with. Of course, the perfectionist inside us all says, can we be better at the other end? But like I said, I think that's something that's going to take time. I really do.
And looking ahead to our opponents on Saturday, they haven't had the best of starts of the season, Halifax, but they've picked up a couple of results recently. What are your views on them?
Well, it's so tough for Halifax at the minute because they've had 2 wonderful seasons previously, and and they're picking up a baton that's very, very tough to replicate year on, year out. They reproduce a new squad every year. They reproduce a new squad with not as many resources as others that have been in those top 6 positions recently. And eventually, it'll take a little bit longer than maybe it has done previously, but still a very, very good passing side. They've got a clear identity. You can see they're very, very well coached, very well coached. They've still got some of the, players that have stood them in such high standing over the last 2 years in the side. They've got players that I've worked with before that I've huge amount of respect for. I mean, Matt Warburton, who plays for Halifax, there's not an opposition player that I respect more than Matt for what we went through at Yeovil when he was on loan with us. So huge amount of respect for the opponent. Brilliant club, steeped in tradition and history, which is the best thing about this division now. Is just so much history about the division. It's going to be a really tough test, really, really tough test. And we know that we have to be all of the things we've just discussed in order to come out with a point or any more than that. So you can't at any stage concern yourself too much with an opponent's form, because an opponent's form can be turned or changed on the result they have against your team. So it's got to start somewhere. So we have to very much be respectful. We have to be very pragmatic in what we see and how we deliver that to the players. But we've got to go down the tunnel and put on a performance. And we have great belief in our dressing room that with a high level or a high standard of performance, we can compete anywhere.
Yeah, and just finally, obviously we've got Southend away on Tuesday. Another bit of away travel. How much will that game and that travel sort of factor into your decision making this weekend?
Well, it won't factor into any decision making this weekend. Southend will those decisions will come after tomorrow, and we know that we've got players that may need to be rotated in terms of their physical capabilities or incapabilities, as some of them have, and we know that we're going to have to utilize the squad where there is depth. appropriately. But yeah, I mean, for sure, I'll be very surprised if it's the same 11 Tuesday as it is tomorrow, especially with the long journey over the next couple of days. There and back will be. We'll need to utilise players, and that's why we like go back to the first question. We place such an importance on the substitutes that are coming on in any game, because their physical readiness for the next game is so important. So we're going to have to make sure that we're physically equipped to be able to implement the type of game that we need to do in order to get points anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck, and we'll speak to you after tomorrow.
Top man.